Romans 8, 1 to 8. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has set you free from the law of sin and of death. For what the law could not do, weak as it was through the flesh, God did, sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and as an offering for sin, he condemned sin in the flesh, so that the requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. For those who are according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who are according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For the mind set on the flesh is death, but the mind set on the Spirit is life and peace. Because the mind set on the flesh is hostile toward God, for it does not subject itself to the law of God, for it is not even able to do so, and those who are in the flesh cannot please God.
Yesterday I talked about being an ambassador for Christ. How can I be an ambassador of that of whom I am not in touch with? It is difficult. It is not possible. When the Lord called you and me, he commissioned us to go to the rest. He commissioned us and empowered us to be his disciples and to make disciples, starting with Jerusalem, our Jerusalem, onto Judea and to the utmost part of the world, of the earth. So, in modern times, we can say your local domain, your regional domain, which is your Judea, and the utmost part of the world, that is your global sphere. So, we individually sitting here this morning, and those who are not here, and I identified as part of the community of AIU, are commissioned and called upon to represent our Master in our Jerusalems, which is in our area. Extend that to Nairobi and other places for Judea, and move on with the rest of the world. And this is in keeping with our name, African International University. So, anytime during our 24 hours in a day, we will be expected to be followers of our Master. As I said yesterday, I'm least qualified to tell anyone on how to live for God, how to live for Christ, by giving you do this or do this. Indeed, I am not qualified at all. I don't know about it. If you feel qualified, or if you feel unqualified, as I do, then there begins the urge and the desire to want to be qualified. Thank you to those who chose the topic, practical living, practical Christian living, to guide our chapel this year. The Bible, or we are told, you will know them by their actions. I can stand here in front of you and give you an excellent sermon, jog your minds, excite you, and I feel happy about it. But by the end of the day, you will judge me by my life, isn't it? And I think this is the challenge we face as a Christian community, not only here at AIU, but the rest of Kenya. I may not be able to speak competently about the rest of the world. Am I right in assuming that everyone here is a disciple of Jesus Christ? Am I correct? No one can get to your heart and my heart except the one who qualifies. The best we can do is to read what is in your heart through your actions. And you can read through your actions. So what are we saying? From a physical point of view, we preach more by actions and less by what we say. We have told the world that by being at AIU, the moment I say I'm at AIU, if you know what AIU lives for, then judge me by that. Don't you feel the weight?
Sure.
I do. How qualified am I to be the ambassador of one who is so great? I do hope by end of this session, you'll do what I'm required to do, or what I've said I will do. Take some moments and reflect how true I am to my calling. For then you will find the challenge to ask yourself, have I been a true ambassador of Christ to myself? Have I cultivated the challenge or cultivated the culture of conquering myself and leading myself? When I say myself, not what others will tell you, but what the woman in you, the person in you will dictate to you. So only then, when you have demonstrated the ability to lead yourself effectively and in achieving the ideals for which you live, and that is your master's ideals, only then can you lead others. Since we have set for ourselves as a university a very high standard in declaring what we want to achieve, as opposed to a place like University of Nairobi or Kenyatta University, any public university, we have clearly said Christ will be our yardstick. And in any behavior we exhibit, people will want to say, and where is Christ in all this? In our professional competences, which we are supposed to produce as a university, if we are found to be lucky, we will be betraying our master. That is not true. If you are, or I am, not authentic in my creativity and innovation, then I will be living somebody else's character. I'll be doing something else, somebody else's work. I'll be exhibiting that is not what the Lord made me for. And therefore, He wants me to uniquely be, or to be the unique I He created. I always say this: there's something He put in you and denied me, because He didn't want a world full of all the gifts in one person. So discover your talents and exploit them to the fullest for His kingdom. Discover your gifts and use them for His kingdom. Remember the song we have sung again. The last verse says, "Niongoze safarini." Say that, walk with me, remember it's your friend, it's my friend. But the end of this journey is where? Is heaven. Niongoze safarini. Mlangoni mwa mbinguni niingie na wewe. Because when everything is done, when we have done it all, when you have lived your life, when you have had all the wealth on earth, when you have had all the education on earth, when you have had all the positions on earth, there is a place we all must go. Where, because it's a journey, it's a preparation we are in, we are here to improve ourselves so we can serve society better with the talents He has given us for His kingdom. For without Him, you and I have nothing. I don't believe I am anything. If there is an example of what God can make of any person, I am one. And if there is anything God can give to anybody through me, Lord, use me to do so. But remember, we have said we are going to educate people who will be Christ-centered, and not just Christ-centered, but leaders. Leaders who will transform God's people and the society. Moments of despair, moments of being very angry, moments when possibly have not spoken the truth in life, but then at the end of life, during those moments, Who corrects me? Who corrects me? For you to be able to say sorry to somebody else, if it is a true sorry, it will first of all must prick you in the and perhaps you know even before somebody else tells you that I am sorry. That only God can help us to do. So if we are going to be men of professional competence, men of authentic faith in Christ, men and women of character as expected of us, then we must ask ourselves, who will enable me to achieve this? The university, since the university has declared itself as a Christian university, the standards of Christ are expected to attain. And since AIU consists of you and me, individually, we will be judged accordingly. See. The Kenyan educational system has for some time been skewed in training the cognitive domain, that is knowledge, the head, that is. A little bit of the psychomotor area, the practical domain. And we have played havoc on the affective domain. And AIU thinks, given what we have said here, we have actually said we will train people not only in the cognitive, the psychomotor, but also in the affective domain. If we do so, we will have carved a niche for ourselves. The affective domain is the one which develops character. It's the one which develops values by which people live through life. And as parents, because of our struggle and push to take children to school to want them to excel, be number one and so on, we have neglected this bit. So we here at AIU will say we'll be offering holistic education, touching on the three domains, and specifically because of our background as a Christian institution, we are challenged, and we have said we will be heavily involved in shaping the affective domain, the character part, the values part, so that when we interact with people, they will be able to say, yes, you have been with Jesus. And they will ask you, where were you? Were you at AIU? Because they will have known you can only come from AIU. That is the area and the niche I believe wholeheartedly this morning. If we are to get to create an impact in society, if we are to create or to make a contribution in the education sector in Kenya and the world, then we have said we will produce people whose actions, whose practical life, whose behavior will be driven by the master from within. The master, Jesus Christ. One time at Independence, if you happen to be shining anywhere, in the social circles, you will have either to have come from Alliance High School or from Makerere. Those who belong to the older generation. Here in Kenya, if you look at all the people who took high positions in government at independence, over 70% came from Alliance High School. Why? It's because, of course, Alliance had a Christian background, and in the training of students at Alliance, you were actually made to believe you were a leader. At the time, no, not today. You were made to believe you were a leader. There was a little bit of pride. That was perhaps the negative part of it. The other side, in the recent past, we have seen a little about Starem, and of course those days also, Mangu also played a role. It is the Christian schools that gave us our first leaders. And if you look at the leaders of the first decade of this country, there was something unique about it. There was a sense of values, and nationalism, as I would call it. Could it be we can do better than those? We become the Alliance University over our time. There are many universities today which are safe and are declared to produce leaders of integrity, Christian leaders. Fine, but that means more of a pretend today than a reality. I want you to know we are challenged to live our calling. And I also want you to know people out there will judge us by our values. Just like I say, if you see a child, you will know their parents. If you want to know the parents of a child, you know the child. You know because you are a friend. Sometimes it's not true. Yeah, but generally that statement holds. So what is the Christian value that we are expected to exhibit? The Bible is clear. They tell us the fruit of the Spirit and the fruit of the carnal nature. I don't want to go into that. But we shall know you what is within you by your actions, by your behavior. Correct? You don't have to tell me your own stories. I don't have to tell your own stories about myself. You will know me by what I do and my actions. But I'm not saying you don't ask me who I am. How then are we to live? I became a Christian. So what took place? I invited Christ to take command and control of my life. And I'm yet to live because of a carnal nature. I feel hungry. I feel I need a birth. I need company. feel I need to have my human needs fulfilled. And in doing so, sometimes I don't get them done, so I get angry. And I get upset. We agree with the David, this will be done, and he doesn't do it, so I get upset. So how am I to show the difference between me and the other? What I personally found useful is something I used to see in a car. What would Christ, what would Jesus do? You constantly invite yourself to that situation. Here you are here. What is my role in creating this situation? What is my role in it? Even when it appears there is no role, you are basically playing the other person. If you invite yourself to ask that question, I learned when I was doing my PhD in the US, especially when you're very upset with somebody, you feel you can't talk to him, you invite yourself and ask, what is my role in this matter? That's very practical. If you are really honest, you will find even the very mere presence of your being there could have been the problem. You don't have to say much. But if you are not there, perhaps you would not have seen what you saw. And it begins now to focus on you rather than the other person. So invite God into the situation. Seek His wisdom in the matter. And one thing, for me, I've come to realize the problem will always be there, and big ones too. But is there a problem which is too big for God? Is there? It may look far-fetched, but that's Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 26, I believe. About 10 years ago, I came across it, and I said, is it too big for God? Is it wrong? Are we simply joining the crowd? Are we simply joining the crowd of higher education? Are we simply joining the crowd of Christian universities? How are you be distinguished from the rest? It is by accepting that with God, all things are possible. And in achieving this vision, it is possible.